What's up, good people? This your boy Artwork Geo. Doing this video, as you see in the title, man, they're not rooting for you. And it's me telling myself that, as I move and progress into my journey further and further, you realize as you go, they show more. You know what I'm saying? People start to show true colors. People never really supported you, and then they see that you're making some kind of progress, and then they want to start nudging in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So there's that too. But really, man, it's just being surprised that certain people you thought, because y'all came up together because, y'all family or y'all quote unquote close, you know what I'm saying? You expect them to be there and root for you. You hit certain milestones and you expect these people to congratulate you. When they don't, it can be a little frustrating. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely frustrating. I personally feel like being a loner, my approach is just, I'm to myself with a lot of stuff. I feel like it's better for me to just focus more on my day to day and the things that I know I need to take care of. And I think everything else to take care of itself. I'm not in the business to worry about other adults, you know what I'm saying, other grown people that have more than enough freedom to choose what they want. People can really slow you down. I'm guilty of it. I've allowed people to slow me down. Picture like a well that provides water to a community. At some point, that well, it'll run dry if not enough people put water back into it. At some point, you have to go out into other towns and other places and bring water back to replenish that well, or create some kind of water source system where water comes into the well so that people can get water and more come in. Because eventually, if you give and nobody replenishes you, you run empty. And so, that's what my whole brand is about, man. It's replenishing that inner greatness that, what I'm saying, it runs dry like a well. And when you run dry, man, it's just, sometimes you get in that position and realize, man, I'm here, how I get here? And then you realize you start seeing, oh, this person only wanted this, or okay, I'm spending too much time worrying about how these people feel about whatever. What it all come down to is your concern about other people. You putting energy into validation. Having somebody root for you is definitely a great feeling, but when they don't do it, you have to be okay with them not doing that. And, you have people who there to support you. I think support and rooting for you, definitely two different things in my opinion. My perception of someone supporting you could be just financially, hey man, I'm here for you if you need some kind of support, labor support, whatever, it's just, that's what support is. But when somebody's rooting for you, so you can be there to support and throw money at something, but you don't have to necessarily be there and show up to root and cheer on somebody's achievements and as they continue to move forward. And that's what I'm speaking to. It's like when there's a lack of that from people, because it's one thing to get support, have people show up to events. If you're doing an event, you say, hey man, support my site. You know what I'm saying? If you can do that for me, I got a website up, whatever. But when it comes to just genuine, just rooting and cheering you on, not everybody's going to do that. People are tied up really with their own situations. We get kind of caught up in the fact that it's not just about us. When it ain't just about us, that means sometimes you're not on the top of people's list when it come to what you might want to celebrate. Some people aren't where you at, you know what I'm saying? Other people have things going on too. So, it's just a lot to consider because it all come down to being a distraction for whatever motive people have. And they, conduct themselves that way and they approach you with that, you know what I'm saying? And you feel the energy like, man, it don't seem like they even trying to, show love and support, or whatever. But really, they mind don't even be on it sometimes. There's people who just don't even realize they're not showing up for you. So it just really comes down to, are you going to allow things to distract you as you on your pursuit? Will you allow how life get to other people and the things that go on and day-to-day worries of where people's head is and how they feel about you? All of those things, and defending yourself when it's like, man, let them think what they want to. Somebody think you're a loser, let them think you're a loser. You don't have to live up to their expectation. As long as you're actually not a loser, you have nothing to worry about. And that's just something I think a lot of us have to actually take a break sometime and realize. People paint a picture of us and it's like, man, you know the truth of who you are. So you can choose to allow that to get you into a space where it's bothering you and it's throwing you off. And now you're not on your game like you can be. Or you can just be like, you know what, that's motivation, man, to just really get to a point where I can show these people. Be petty about it if that's what worked for you, because not everybody's going to be there to be in your corner. There's going to be people actually cheering on are rooting for you to fail. If anything, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody's rooting for you to win. And if they are rooting for you, it's for the whole opposite reason of what you might be thinking, you know, and from the people that you least expect it from. So again, you know, it all come down to, and again, I'm telling myself this, you know, I'm talking to y'all, my coworkers, we all in it together, but this is me taking my own advice too. You know, you just got to be in like locked in mode, be your number one fan, pat yourself on the back, and replenish your own will. Like, not everybody's gonna do that for you. Not everybody's gonna do that. I had to learn the hard way. Like, even just last night, I got a dose of like reality where I'm like, man, you gotta apply yourself a little more. You know, you talk fresh paint, you tell people, you know, every day is a coat of fresh paint, never too late to apply it. You know, fresh paint, you know, rejuvenates, replenishes the inner greatness that most people can't see or others can't see. You know, I say it's not for everybody. And I tell my coworkers, of course, y'all, you know what I'm saying, that you not everybody. So it's all these little mantras that really like clearly show I'm proud of that, and you know, it stands for something, and I'm really about that. But I have to actually apply that to myself in a human form. Like, some days I'm not showing up to that 100%, and I need to realize, like, hey, bro, you get on YouTube and you start talking about that, you have to still live that. Don't forget, this is actually you. You're not just showing up for a video. You actually living and breathing this, because this is what actually keeps you going throughout the day. You know, like I embody this. It'd be on accident. I'd be like, man, I'm really doing my brand. Like, because I do the YouTube thing more now and I'm doing videos, it's easier to connect it. But I'm like, man, you always have done this. My issue with doing YouTube at first was just trying to find a way to be able to like tell and convey my message effectively. You know what I'm saying? Like, be able to like get across what I know I want to get across to people watching in a way that I know I want to get it across, if that make any sense. But, you know, just having different options, you know, editing styles and ways I could do it. Sometimes it's a lot, you know, you go down this rabbit hole and you got to figure it all out. So while I'm doing all of that, trying to figure out YouTube, I'm not really getting people that was like rooting me on. You know what I'm saying? Might have been a couple people that knew me like, are you gonna do the YouTube thing, just hearing me talk, right? But I had to keep going. I wasn't on some like, oh man, the one or two people I did ask, or I mean I asked, but the one or two people I brought this up to, they made it seem like I'm crazy for wanting to do this. Man, maybe I shouldn't do it. Instead, because it's all perspective, it's how you see it. I'm like, you know what? First couple people talking like that, I'm like, man, you know what? That's two people about to see what this is. Because I had already sat with myself, had it all mapped out and figured out in terms of the foundation of it. I knew I wanted to talk to people that are like-minded and speak to what I felt the brand represented. Now, all them different points that I was throwing out, it was a focus on it was a focus on just one of them at one point. It was just a focus on, okay, it stand for this. But then, you know, you're a creative person, so you just sitting with all these different ideas and you developing it. And so I spent a lot of time on the creative side without too much action behind it, like actually doing the logistics of a brand and like creating content to promote it and just really building it up, right? But it was just me. And see, from the outside in, people think you just talk, you know, so they're not really showing up for you. You know, most of the time people have to see you moving, gaining your own traction before they step in. So first you just like, yeah, you know, man, I'm about to paint my house. You know, you just talking, y'all having conversation, you know, just so, yeah, you know, people do that. But then you like show up, hey man, I'm about to paint my house. See, it hit different. Now, when you say it like that, it's more believable. They got something to see. But then they also see that it ain't much to this. Like, I mean, you still need the fabric. You need the actual paint. Like, hey, they start asking questions. Hey, man, how you plan on painting? Like, you need some help with that? If they decent people, if it's people that really should be in your corner, that's actually rooting for you, that really would support you, then they see that you only got this. They know what it take to paint a house. Hey, man, you need some help. You need a ladder. Like, that's when people start. But when you ain't got this and you just saying, hey, man, you know, I'm a paint a house. It's a conversation. It's just ideas, just statements. You get me? So I don't even get mad at some people because I understand, like, sometimes you got to see it, you know, and that's just human nature, I guess. A lot of us, you know, we hear people say things, but it's like, what are you actually doing to do it? You get what I'm saying? So I just, you know, I've had my share of it. You know, I've definitely experienced it in a lot of different ways. And, you know, if I could speak to other people, you know, who may have not crossed that bridge or are currently in it, It's not worth it to sit and worry about who's rooting for you, who's cheering you on, because some people do it in silence. A lot of people just having a blessing and then putting good energy your way without even telling you that they there supporting you and rooting for you. You might find out after the fact. You know what? I'm so glad that and if you're a religious person, I've heard people say, man, I kept you in my prayers. You know what I'm saying? And you never knew they said one prayer. Never knew they said a single prayer about you. But you find out after you accomplish something, I kept you in my prayers. Or, you know what? I was always rooting for you, you know what I'm saying, from the sideline. I seen you doing your thing and tell you every step you took to get to where you got to, where they truly, genuinely was there rooting you on from wherever they was at. You don't always talk to everybody, but just don't think for a second they're not watching, even if they tell you they watching or if they don't. And it's a hard thing to navigate when you see it, but everybody else don't. And it's all right because it's so vivid to you because you've painted the picture. You spend your time, your energy, your effort, but nobody else really understand that because they're not you. They don't know the late nights of you being up, sitting, trying to figure out the next move, having an idea, trying to develop the next step to it, but being so passionate about it, you don't even want to go to sleep. You don't even care about eating nothing. You just want to lock in on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole nother world. It's a community it's like a whole nother world, you know what I'm saying? Like a universe, just your own universe you building, basically. So I get it, man. I understand what we out here dealing with. We definitely, it would be nice to have those people that we feel, are definitely in our corner. They're rocking with us. But the takeaway that I'm getting is just to continue to keep moving regardless, to be my own supporter, my number one supporter. I'm not saying my only supporter, but to be my own cheerleader. I can't think of another word other than say that, you know what I'm saying? To be like that person that I feel like it'd be nice to have somebody else be there rooting for me. How about I show up for myself? Because when people see that you, again, hold yourself to a high standard, putting in effort, they step up and want to be a part of what you got going on. So I definitely hope that did something for whoever watching. If you locked in with the content and you like what I'm doing, definitely appreciate a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, man, it's for the coworker community, man. Just people out here trying to get it. Regardless of what's going on, we're going to make it work. So you know what it is. Stay up.